How do we actually make people like you? If you're anything like me, you've probably been alone for most of your life. You decided quite early on that the best company is your own. After all, you do enjoy being by yourself. But if you look at the happiest moments in your life, the vast majority were moments spent with other people. And if you're watching this video, you probably understand that social connection is really important. But you're not really quite sure how to make people like you. We've all met that guy that just seems to make friends everywhere he goes. You've probably seen him at the gym or at school. He doesn't look any different to anybody else, but for some reason, everybody likes him. He walks in and people are always really happy to see him. And contrary to what you might think, he doesn't possess any magical social superpowers. He's just internalized a few key principles that the author Dale Carnegie lays out in the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. And today I'll go over the 5 most important ones that will make anybody like you. And as I go through these principles, try visualizing how you can use these principles in your own life. Principle 1. Make people feel important. The feeling of importance is the most motivating feeling in the world. It's more motivating than being hungry when you haven't eaten. But unlike hunger, the feeling of importance never gets satisfied. People go their entire lives without feeling important in anything. So when you do satisfy this feeling in someone, they will love you. Think about the last time you received a genuine compliment. You felt amazing about yourself, and you probably thought the person that gave you the compliment was a great guy. You may feel a little weird when you give compliments to other people, and that's because you think it makes you seem less important. It doesn't. You'll be a lot more important to the person you make feel important. Principle 2. Encourage others to talk about themselves. When I was younger, I used to work in a pizza place. It would just be me and my boss. I was his only employee. For the first few weeks, he wouldn't really talk to me. Honestly, I thought he was pretty scary. But one day I asked him about his life, and it was actually really interesting. It was a quiet day, so we just talked late into the night. Hours went by before we realized it was time to close the shop. All I did was encourage him to talk about himself, and we built a friendship that lasted a lifetime. We still keep in touch almost 10 years later. The most important person in your world is you. Most of your thoughts are about you, and that's true for every single person you meet. Let them talk about themselves, and they will like you more. Principle 3. The best way to win an argument is to avoid it completely. You can't win an argument because if you lose it, you lose it, and if you win it, you lose it. Why? Let's say you completely win over the other person in an argument. You would feel smarter for a moment, but what about the other person? You've just hurt his pride and made him feel inferior. He will now resent you, and you've just lost a friend. So with that being said, don't argue with people. And the next time you feel an argument is about to take place, diffuse it and think to yourself, is an argument with this person worth the cost of our relationship? Probably not. Principle 4. Try to see things from other people's point of view. Sometimes people are going to be completely wrong, but they won't think that they're wrong. So don't criticize them, because that's what everybody would do. Instead, try to see things from their perspective. Honestly think to yourself, if I was in his position, could I generally do anything different? Chances are you probably do the same thing. The last principle is probably the easiest one on the list, and that's smile. Actions speak louder than words, and when you smile, you tell people, I like you, and because you like me, I should like you too. It's the simplest thing in the world, but it makes a huge difference. Honestly, you'd be surprised how differently people treat you when you do smile. You're more approachable, people want to spend time with you. Oh, and most importantly, people will like you. That's it for this one.